Hi Libra, welcome back. This is going to be your spiritual tarot reading and we're going to go ahead and get straight into it. As I was meditating on the overall Libra energy, I almost felt like I went into like somewhat of a trance state. So some of you needing like that good deep sleep state, right? Especially if you've been maybe having trouble with insomnia, or it's like you're going to bed but you're not like reaching that deep therapeutic level of sleep. What's helped me, if you are dealing with that, is to listen to like healing frequencies or HZ frequencies while I sleep. I've even tried like hypnosis types of tapes, just put in my earbuds, and it's really helped me. And I'm a Libra moon. So you might also benefit from that if you're having issues with that, like white noise, things of that nature. But that's kind of the energy I was feeling. It's like a very deep energy, all right? And some of you, yes, this has to pertain with the sleep state, but it doesn't have to, right? You could just be feeling very deeply about things right now, noticing that you're more in your emotional space than you usually are, all right? So take it as it resonates. Yeah. Oh gosh, I already lost the rest of the messages. Oh yes. So the other thing I was seeing was sloths. You know, like the animal, like a sloth. I have no idea why. I don't know if you're seeing that somewhere, or maybe it's just that energy too of like things feeling very, very slow. Okay, or you're feeling that kind of way. But yeah, they're giving me the word slow to begin or slow to start. All right. But things are going to speed up here, Libra. I feel that, especially as we come to the end of February, early March. And I'm getting this message in a lot of different readings that Aries season is going to be significant for a lot of people, especially if you have Aries in your chart, as I have that card out, but I also have Cancerian energy. Could be dealing with either of those or have that in your chart. And along with that, the Queen of Pentacles. So it's, I'm hearing multifaceted. Now, some of you are very multifaceted, multidimensional beings. Well, all of us are to some degree, but it's like you have more than just one talent that you can pull on, or more than just one part of you that's important, right? And for some reason, they're highlighting the different aspects of you, Libra, from your more emotional, receptive part of you to this part of you that can pack a punch, that knows what you want, and yet this other part of you that knows how to keep things balanced, as the Libra would, you know, how to be practical and logical about your decision making. And I think the reason why all of these different parts of you are being highlighted is because the message is to pull on all of your strengths, to use all of that combined, right, to kind of get you through whatever you have coming up for you during this time frame. So let's see then. What do we have coming in for Libra? We're going to go through the head space, the heart space, and the spiritual picture. So let's look at Libra. Princess of Wands, the Four of Wands, the Five of Cups in the reverse. Okay. Some of you, I'm getting a song. Going to the chapel and we're gonna get married. Some of you might actually be getting married, or you are married, or just relationships in general being highlighted, or you might actually randomly hear that song. But there is relationships on the brain, okay? And I'm getting another song. She says, I think I've had enough. Might get a little drunk. All of this kindness is mistaken for weakness. So, take it or leave it. That's the song that came through. But what's sticking out to me mostly about that song, Libra, is all of my kindness is mistaken for weakness. And ain't that the truth? Sometimes kindness is mistaken for naivety, for weakness, but I'm going to tell you this. It's easy to be mean. It's easy to go in your ego. There's nothing strong about that, right? But it is hard to be kind in a world full of cruel people. You know, people who have forgotten who they are, that they're liquid love and they came here to love. So in my mind, kindness is a sign of strength. And just keep that in mind, right? Because I think it's easy, especially in today's society, to want to lower our standards and lower ourselves because we see other people getting away with it, you know, or like feeling like, well, I don't want to be walked over, so I'm going to walk on them. Well, two wrongs don't make a right. Law of attraction is never going to allow that to work. So yeah, it does take strength to keep your head held high, you know, but that's kind of what you're being called to do right now. And there's definitely an emphasis on that part of the message here, okay? Especially when it comes to relationships, especially when it comes to people that may have not reciprocated that kindness to you or maybe even have hurt you. But I'm hearing let it go, okay? So it's like there's good things lining up for you, Libra. Are you going to let that block you from getting to where it is that you want to go? Because there's a chance that some of you might actually do that, you know? You might let the ego step in, or you might let, you know, your fiery... I know you're an air sign, but I feel like Libras are the fieriest of the air signs, if that makes sense. But you might let that part of you come out, okay? All right, especially if you have a fire, sun, moon, or not sun, moon or rising or Venus. It's like, take your time to examine whatever this is, Libra, and ask yourself, is this worth my time? Is this worth my time? Is this really a loss? You know, or can I move past that? Can I rise above that? All right, so let's see what's going on in the emotional space then. I love that song, by the way. I got 4, 5, Ace of Swords, the Queen of Cups, Queen of Wands. So I'm getting like some sort of opposition energy, and I'm hearing Who Wrote the Book on Love. I think that's a song as well. I'm not sure what that has to do with anything, but there could be opposition going on in the environment, right? Or you could even be having like an internal battle with yourself, you know, where you like argue with yourself in your mind, you know, when you're trying to maybe do the right thing, but then you also feel like, well, don't I deserve to be heard? And don't I deserve to have an opinion? And then you go back to the other side of yourself. It's like, of course you do, but there's a right place and a right time. And then you get sucked back into the other part, you know. This is especially true of air signs, but Libra in particular. It's that part of you that is always weighing it out, but it also sometimes can turn into like an internal conflict where you're bouncing back and forth between two perspectives, right? And I think that's why that message came out earlier about needing to pull on all of your strengths, okay, during this time frame, Libra. Your empathetic self, yes, but also this part of you that knows when the time is right to pack a punch, right? But keep it practical, keep it logical is what I'm feeling. So in the emotional space, Ace of Swords, Queen of Cups, Queen of Wands, Knight of Discs. There's a lot of assertiveness coming through this energy. A lot of, I know how I feel and I will speak on it. Can't fault you there, Libra. Do what you feel's best for you, right? I'm not here to tell you what's right or wrong. I'm just here to tell you what the energy is. But it's like, you know what's best for you. That's what I'm getting through very clearly. I feel like some of you are in this space of like, I know what's best for me. I am clear on that. I know what's worth my time. And I'm not, you know, getting to this space of like knowing, you know, what you will and will not tolerate, what you will and will not take, and then standing and simmering almost in that confidence. But I guess the question is this something that you need to explain to other people, or can you know that within yourself and that be enough? You know? That there's like, there's that question coming through. Like knowing that in your own heart, is that enough? Is that going to be enough for you? Some of you, yes, some of you, no. But the Spirit is posing that question right now. So let's go into the spiritual perspective. Where are we at on time? Okay, good. There's also this message here, Libra, about like clarity coming through your intuitive self, but also in your emotional self. So if you were, say you were stuck on something in the past and you were having a hard time letting go of something very emotional that didn't work out or that wasn't serving you, I feel like a coming to terms with that, or like you have finally fully released that. You may think about it from time to time, but you know that this is not on your path anymore. And getting like to this space of being emotionally okay with that, and then also getting inspired at the same time to kind of refocus your energy and figure out what is important to you. All right. So I'm hearing that lyric to that song again. All of my kindness mistaken for weakness. And okay, so let me talk to you about that for a second. I had, as a Libra moon myself, I have had situations like that where I was underestimated because I'm a kind person and I'm always going to do the respectful thing. But I am not a weak person. You know what I mean? And it's like there's this big emphasis, Libra, about not needing to prove that to anyone, though. Not needing to say that, but to prove it through the fact that you're strong enough, that you know that about yourself, that you don't have to explain yourself to anyone. You know, because I do feel like sometimes us air signs get into the habit of feeling like we always need to explain why we're doing something, why we're saying something to others, or explain ourselves. And like there's this instance coming in where it's best to just know what you know, but you don't have to always explain that. You know, because there's this other thing about like, let people misunderstand, because that's their problem, not yours. And you don't got to show your teeth either to prove that you're not weak. And in fact, that is a sign of weakness when you have to demonstrate that. Remember that, right? So keep them guessing, Libra. I once had someone say to me recently that I was being passive aggressive because I wasn't choosing to dish all of the dirt and the details. That's not being passive aggressive. That's knowing what's worth my time, you know, and being respectful of knowing when to explain myself and when I shouldn't need to explain myself. You know what I'm saying? But say I let that get to me and be like, oh, okay, so let me explain why I'm not passive aggressive, blah, 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 blah. Now I'm just feeding it. Now I'm just feeding the beast. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, take your power back, Libra. Not everybody needs or is owed an explanation. And I know that sounds a little bit ego-driven, but it's honoring yourself. by knowing what's worth your time and what's not worth your time. In a loving way, in a respectful way. All right, so 6 of discs, the Star, the Fool, and the Princess of Swords that was in the reverse. So, this is the energy I was talking about. Because some of you are, you know, might be tempted or like looking in 2 different directions, okay? But go in the direction towards your healing, towards your higher self. There is a lot to be grateful for here coming in. So the 6 of Pentacles to me is like being comfortable, and the Star energy is like, basically this is saying be comfortable with yourself without needing to explain that to anyone else, Libra. And that's where the true healing comes in. That's when like you rise above something that maybe used to be really messy here. Okay. There is some sort of new beginning here, but sorry, there's a message here about not thwarting that. Thwarting. Thwarting. Thwarting, I think. I don't know if I said that right. Not letting your ego get the best of you. All right. Especially, like I said, if you're dealing with a fire or earth sign or a Cancerian. But could be any zodiac sign. See, the Page of Swords in the reverse to me is like letting something go, you know, because this person's on attack mode, you know, and this could be, especially if you're in a place of feeling irritable, then you could really want to go there. But it's like stopping yourself from doing that, or you're being called to stop yourself from being impulsive or saying something because you're in a place of irritability. Because see, now you've done some emotional work here, and they're giving me the song Rise Up, which also came up in another reading, I believe Aries reading. And it's important that you maintain that balance here because your path is lighting up, and there's also this energy of like healing coming in, which is helping you to get more comfortable with where you're at right now. So don't thwart that. I don't know why they keep giving me that word. Because now I'm hearing the rest of the song. She says, I'm 4, 5 seconds from wildin'. Some of you might be right there. Or you might find yourself in a situation during these next few weeks where you're like right there. 4 or 5 seconds from wildin'. And catch yourself. You know, or you're being encouraged to catch yourself, right? But let's see what the Osho Zen has to say here, Libra. It says, flowering, and we are the world. So there's also a message here about understanding that we are all one. We're all connected, right? So when people push our buttons, or we want to lash out, or they lash out at us and push our buttons, that we're all in this together. So it's like the only reason someone could trigger you is if you're triggerable. The only way someone can irritate you is if you're irritable. You know, like, because law of attraction says that of which is like to in itself shall be drawn. Like attracts like, basically. And so whatever emotional vibration you're in, that's what you're likely to attract out of other people. So you need to get into this space where you're in this mind frame of, my goat's not gettable. Sorry for your luck. You know, like that, Libra. Don't leave your goat out there. Don't let anyone get your goat. You know what I'm saying? All right, law of attraction says, attempting to control others attracts more to be controlled. It's easy to understand how you would come to the conclusion that your path to feeling good is through influencing or controlling the behavior of others. But as you attempt to control them through influence or coercion, you discover that not only can you not contain them, but your attention to them brings more like them into your experience. You simply cannot get to where you want to be by attempting to control or eliminate the unwanted. Okay, so this is understanding that even if you do lash back, even if you do say all the things, a lot of times people do that because they think they're going to change something in another person. Or when I put it to them this way, then they're going to change their mind. But almost never does that actually occur. It usually just further instigates the situation, or maybe even puts the other person on defense, because whatever you rail against, you get more railing against in return. So, if you're going to apply the laws of the universe to whatever this dynamic is, it's understanding that you can't control others, but you can control yourself, and you can know who you are without explaining it to anyone else. And that's where your power is, Libra. So, zodiac signs you might be dealing with. I've got Aries, Aquarius, Gemini energy here, Cancerian energy, Aries again, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, and Scorpio at the bottom of the deck. So those are the primary signs I'm seeing. Could be dealing with any of those. Have any of those in your chart. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If it did resonate, please do let me know in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to give me a like, share, and subscribe if you haven't yet. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram for more fun stuff, as I do go live there as well. Tarot Time with Dana, all the linked in the description box below, as well as in the About section where you can find the donation link. If you'd like to donate, you can do so there. Otherwise, wishing you the very best, Libra, and until next time, my friends, namaste.